Welcome to Timberborn. Just to let y'all know, I was planning on bringing you in around day one, well not day, but cycle 100. But I got too much going on here and I needed to bring you all in before I started doing some other things. So let's kind of get you oriented on where things are and what's going on around here. Let's hide all this. We don't need that right now. That way you can see better. It is the morning of cycle 98, day 6. And this is where you normally start. I'll show you in the map editor where the original world, the map puts you down. There's going to be a white building. That's where the district center is placed. But this is your normal starting area. And just kind of let you see the difference here of how things have gone for me for these last 98 cycles. Or 97 cycles. We're just starting the 98th cycle. Our little living area here. Apartment complex with a courtyard. And if you notice, we have 96,000 science. And it's all from these 4 scientists right here. So as I've been working on things, doing things within the world, they're cranking out the science so that we can unlock things as we need them. A little food storage, water stuff here. This is not what I originally did. This is a rework of the farms, of how, because this used to be all forest, basically starter stuff. I won't get in too much into it, but I'm just real proud of this. I was showing my son the other day what I had been doing and working on, and I just like how these kind of turned out to where these almost look like little garages next to the farms. And I've also started thinking outside the box, and let's get you down vertically. I've been thinking vertically in my builds. So when you start early game, you're basically doing everything on the ground until you can unlock not just the stairs and platforms and stuff, but the ability to have the explosives to blast out all these trenches like you see here. And everything in the world is blasted 3 blocks deep. So it's, I don't know, rule of 3. This is how I did it. But as you can see, underneath the farmhouses is where they store their crops of what they are designated to pick. Get everything back here. And if y'all want to see how I did it, or want a more in depth how to build like this, let me know in the comments, and I'll see if I can't do a separate video. And the grain mill, this is an addition that I just recently did. This is also a vertical build, if you didn't see before, but one side for wheat, one side for cattails, which I haven't started yet, but that's in a future plan. And okay, we are going to do a little bit of a tour here. So far, I just have this at regular speed so that they can continue working and doing things as we're looking around here. These 4 water pumps are the original water pumps from the start of the game, and they are no longer in use. I have double the large double water pumps over here. That's replacing them, and they just recently got built. So here eventually these will go bye-bye, and we'll repurpose the materials for another build. If you can see in the water, let me get rid of it for you. If you can see in the water, everything's ready for blasting. We're going to have to do this in kind of incremental blasts so that I don't completely drain this out and then worry about having to fill it up on the next drought or bad tide. But just kind of working our way, and when you originally start, this is kind of the direction you're facing, so we'll just call this north. And up here in the northeast, I'll show you a comparison of the original map. This is our manufacturing area, kind of industrial building stuff. Gears is a big thing for me right now. I just started getting an actual stock of these things. Late game gears become a big thing, especially when you start using the robots, and like these gravity batteries and stuff, they all require gears. So I'm just now to the point where I'm starting to stock up on gears, and then it'll just trickle down for the planks and lumber. As you can see, we're using it just about as fast as we can store it. Let's see, this is planned to be utilized after I get this. This is going to be a purge. Let me get there we go. This is going to be kind of a planned purge for bad tides. Basically, when a bad tide comes, I'm trying to keep the bad tide from continuing on down and interfering with crop growth, and I'm trying to keep the world as green as possible. So if I need, I have this purge gate right here. It's just in the middle of being built, and after it's built, then we'll get this drained out, dried out, and start using this mine right here for metal. And over here on the east middle of the map, inspired by Skystorm, he did a real big Dark Adder looking build of this concept of power production. So this is where it's come into. Right now, we're in the middle of a wet season and pushing out 295, 6. How high are you going to get? 299, 300. Okay, so we're creeping up a little bit higher than I thought. Okay, so 305. Fluctuating. And that's for all of them. The total, with a 76 horsepower on the large windmills, we're at 25.5 thousand horsepower output with a you keep fluctuating on me, 11 and 11.2 thousand horsepower demand. This is part of the this is part of the original waterfall, and this is the inlet for the water for the world. So we have a 12 block inlet of water, or a 12 block input, I should say. And this is a 2 gate or 2 block wide source for the power production, power wheels, and our first reservoir right here. Get the water back up and going here, and then a 6 block gate outlet for floodgate. Wow, talking is not really happening for me right now, not well. But 6 block floodgate to allow the remaining pressure down and just a one block pump, and this feeds water into the living area. Just kind of decorative, not really serves a purpose, but it just winds down and dumps out here. Our second reservoir right here, which will get bad water. Everything is filtered. All the pumps are filtered for clean water only. So the bad water can flow through, and we'll get maybe 2, maybe 3 days of reduced pump, a gradual reduced pump, because the bad water will eventually contaminate all water. So these will only pump out the good water while it's still there. And the remaining pressure comes down into the rest of the system and meets up with our snake or winding water wheel power station, and then continues on around the world here. The original map has a bad water source that comes in the opposite direction, and this is where they would marry up, and I just had them dumping out right here until I figured out a way to rectify the problem the way I wanted to. Back down here in the southeast, basically our storage and robot production, dirt excavators, and just kind of spreading out the wealth of production of everything. And these 4 pumps are bad water pumps. So on a bad tide, these guys will kick in and help restore the stock of the bad water containers. While we're here and we're talking about power, around the outside, just a 2-block width, kind of inspired by Skystorm and some from RCE, but this is the system that I came up with, just to have these alternating large windmills and the gravity batteries. I didn't like the look of everything stacked together, so just to kind of help break it all up, I alternated them, and they're as close together as you can put them, so this is as compact as it can get. I'm missing 2 right here because I'm about to show you. Nope, you gotta push the button. If you hold down Alt and then use your scroll wheel, it'll allow you to go down through the level so you can see instead of clicking the buttons over here. So right now we have robot part storage, the centrifuges. Go down a level, we have our bot part production. One side is regular beavers and the other side is bot driven. So during the daytime, kind of double up on the production. At night, there's at least one side that's still producing parts. And we'll scroll down here, and here is our bulk storage of dry goods and stuff that doesn't need to be utilized immediately. So we're stocked up on wheat right now. I told you about I was still working on gears, but this is the bulk storage of things underneath all the bot production. Let's bring it back up. And here is our emergency reservoir going along the south side. The way I've got this going is this pump is paused for right now, and the remaining pumps throughout the system, they're turned on, and they basically, when the water gets up to just about ground level or 0.9 of the block, it'll automatically shut off. So these are constantly keeping these topped off, these reservoirs. And my method of getting everything up. And I do plan on bringing this down one more so that we can reach the bottom of the river. And this is the original outlet, which might get a redesign here later. I'm trying to keep the terrain as original as possible without modifying it too much. The power station and some other things have dictated some modification to the terrain, but I'm trying to keep, keeping with the folktales thing. I'm trying to keep with the, they respect the environment and everything. So try not to modify the terrain too much without, other than doing irrigation and stuff like that. And back up here in the northwest, this is the original bad water source. Well, you have two outlets, and they originally come down, and I'll show you the before picture. But basically, what I did to rectify this so that it was not flowing against my fresh water and mixing in, I blasted this out 3 wide, 3 deep, or at least until, so that this wasn't pulling up as much. Replaced the original outlet I replaced the original outlet with terrain blocks, and now with this bad water rig, which is being ran by bots, so it's 24-hour operation. They are constantly pulling bad water out and storing it and shipping it off to the other side of the map. Eventually, I have a pathway going out to the center, this other bad water source, which I haven't quite decided if I'm going to leave it open so that it can flow and do something with it, or if I'm just going to cap it off with another bad water rig and call it quits. The plan that I have with the river, or this backwater, freshwater, is to bring it around, trying to follow the terrain and bring it down to the outlet of the map. So that'll be a work in progress. And that is just about it. But as you can see, with Old Town here, we have our Old Town, the District Center, where this is the original location for it. I want to move it, and I'm remodifying it, rezoning things, and some people are going to get evicted real quick. That's why I couldn't wait until day 100 or cycle 100, is because I'm going to be doing things that you guys may be interested in, or I'm going to be facing some challenges and problems that y'all are having difficulty with, or that you haven't come across with, and it may be a good forecasting of, hey, you may want to consider this. And excuse me. And this is where everything started to go haywire. Well, not haywire, but this is where I got to a point where I was no longer struggling to survive. The population's kind of balanced out. I started advancing in some of the technologies, and instead of just building things just to survive and basically do the boring part of the game, I started getting creative, and it just kind of blew out of proportion at times. But this temple was the start of it, and I think it's Zeddy. I'll put his name on the screen for you. Maybe a link to his channel, but seeing some of the things that he was doing with his builds, it sparked or opened up that window or door for me to go, okay, I need to think vertically. I need, not laterally, not just across the ground, not flat. I need to start thinking vertically. Hence why I started putting a lot of storages underneath the working buildings. And okay, well, let's make a garage. Well, that all started right here at the temple. And it's just kind of grown from there. So from the temple, which you have a lot of the boosts, the reflection spots, and the street lights, roofs, all the things that give your beavers little boosts. I've started spreading those out, and instead of one big clump of blueberries, I've been collecting, not gathering. I've been collecting the relative resources that they work on, the beavers work on in their respective buildings. Like the gatherer flag, they collect dandelions, berries, and chestnuts. So right next to them is chestnuts. And these trees don't get cut down, so that I'm not having to wait for the tree to grow, and then for it to eventually grow chestnuts on it if it doesn't get cut down. Kind of spreading the wealth and spreading the work so that it can be a more decorative world, like Central Park here. And it's the best I can come up with. It's not exactly the center of the map, but a little Central Park here with, zoom back out again, a huge area that it affects. So as long as the beavers get in here, they get this effect, and then they get a boost because of this monument that's right here. Let's see here. And I talked about irrigation, but underneath all of these platforms, it's a triple platform. All the roads are triple platform, so the water is 3 blocks deep to help retain the water, irrigate everything, keep it green, keep things growing. And eventually I will be running power through there, because I got to figure out how to get power to some things that I have planned throughout here, or I'm thinking about. Okay, continuing on with the tour. Little food courts here. Let's scroll down. You go away. Underneath the food courts is storage for what they're making. So raw potatoes, the wheat flour for bread, and maple pastries and stuff like that. A little log containers for, not that it's used for the campfires, but some of these buildings do require wood to produce the food. So, there's just little things that I'm learning how to improve on my builds. And I've made my mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I have made my mistakes. Lost my world a couple of times by flooding out everything, because I didn't plan for the water flow, and when I put in a terrain block, it just flooded out everything, and there was no recovering from it, because it was during a bad tide. And instead of just talking to you about it, let me show you where it happened. Right here. I was kind of doing the same thing with a different style of build, and right in here, those beavers doing what they're told. They put in a terrain block, and it blocked up the bad water source that was running the opposite direction, and it came all the way down into the village. And if you've played the game before, if a building is flooded, the beavers will not work, even though they're assigned to that building as a builder. For example, if the building's flooded, they do not work. So I had it overflowed all the way into the village, flooded everything out, and because it was a bad tide with bad water, it killed out everything, all my crops, and was contaminating my beavers. It was just for one block, and I had to start the world over again. This is the aftermath. This is the world that I started after that mistake happened. And this is a game that you have to kind of plan ahead. And it's not just, okay, I'm going to do this one project. You almost have to have ADD in a sense to multitask and okay, I need you to do this part. I need you to build buildings, but I also need storage for my food, which I also need storage for my water. And not that I'm making it sound real complicated, but once you actually start playing the game, there's a lot that goes into it. So after some practice, you start forward thinking and going, okay, now that I have this started, what can I work on now? And that's where, because I kind of planned out the community pool here, which I'll work on making pretty later on. Right now it's just kind of bare bones basic, so that they can get the boosts from having wet fur. No one likes dry beaver. But I started laying in the new district center. As you can see here, this is the new district center that I laid out and planned. Let's get it down here. And all it is food storage, so that there's a little, like a little snack shop or something for them to grab while they're going from one place to the other. But this is what I had planned out, and I thought, well, shoot, there's many times that I tried. Oh, excuse me. There's many times that I tried or was working on a project and I was adding in a district or trying to move my district, and I kind of ran into some hurdles. We won't call them barriers, hurdles. And I thought, well, shoot, maybe some of y'all want to see an easy way to move your district if you want to relocate it. Or I got something planned for right here that I thought, oh shoot, that's kind of a good idea. Maybe y'all want to see it. So I was gonna wait until cycle 100, but here it is, cycle 98. And I can't wait. Things are just going so much that I need you all to follow along. I need you all here now. So to start this off, I am going to move my district over here to the new location. And the easiest way, let's back up a step. All right, let's back up a step. When you go to add a new district center, if you try and place it on an existing road that's connected to your existing district, it's going to give you that warning. Districts must be separated by a district crossing. So you got to back it off one block. Then you can place it down. Now that you have a completely separate district, then you have the choice of putting down the district crossing and blah, 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 blah. Okay. If we were doing the district crossing thing, I'd go into it, but easy way. It's a small enough map we can get away with just doing one district. Thank you, devs, for removing those restrictions. I'll say it right now. That was a big thing. But this is a small enough map you can get away with one district. So let's pause the game. We are going to remove our district here. Bye-bye. Now everyone's saying, I don't have a district to run things. All right, fine. Well, now we can place our new district center where we planned without having to worry about, oh, well, we got to add a road, delete a road. No, we already deleted the center. We placed it down. No problems. Now, I was thinking about this, and I went, you know what? Maybe instead of having all the workers, because the district center is a builder platform, but it's the district center. Why don't we have a mayor? Well, before we have a mayor, let's change this. Yes, it's District 4 because I was trying to do this for y'all earlier and just not crossing my I's, dotting my T's. I didn't hit record. So I told my wife about this afterwards that, yeah, I was just sitting here talking to myself for about 30 minutes. I didn't even realize it because I didn't hit record. So mistakes do happen in real life. Let's just leave it at that. This is the waterfalls map. Let's rename the district because of the folk tales. Not Folk Falls. Folk. Nope, not Big O. There we go. Folk Falls. Alright, Folktale Falls. There we go. And we need a mayor. So let's unpause the game. If you don't know the hotkeys to really, instead of coming up here and pausing it and unpausing it, just hit the space bar. No available workers in district. You are full of it. The game's catching up with everything that we did. Okay, there we go. All we did was move one building, and the game's got to go. Okay, these are all the beavers and blah. Yep. Got it. Okay. I do not like your name. Mayor. Who should we call you? Let's call you Mayor OA. What's a good beaver name? Oh my goodness, I have writer's block. What is going on? Why can I not think of a mayor name? Let's go with Mayor. We'll just use my name. I am the mayor as of right now, and I am not 52 years old, but I'm getting there. But we're going to have a little bit of fun with this. Okay. Uh-huh. No, that's what you said. And nope, no cups lock. Assistant. Why can't I find there it is. Assistant mayor. Dawn. Okay. So we have my two grandparents, Grandpa Aaron, Grandpa Dawn, mayor and assistant mayor, and they both work at the. That way, if we are going through our playthrough and we notice down here in the corner that, hey, Mayor Aaron died of old age. Well, now we know, hey, we need a new mayor. Have a new election. I know, I'm getting too in-depth on this, but it's cute and fun in my mind. Okay, so that is the easy part that I have for y'all today, because I need to get all of this cleaned out. And basically what I am wanting to do is get all of this cleared out. But before I clear it out, I need to have a place for everything to go. So if you know the game, the folktales do not overpopulate. They will only grow in population if there are beds available. So right now it says I have 57 beds available, which I think is bull hockey, because, oh yeah, it's still, I unpaused it. The game's still assigning who's supposed to sleep where. But if you start building, housing somewhere else, and you have it connected to your district center, they're going to start filling it up. So if you don't have the resources stored, and if you don't have everything enough to sustain that many beavers, then you're growing your population without intending it. When I get it designed, I will start building it, probably make another video to show y'all if y'all want to see more of this content. And basically, we're going to have a moving day. Get it all built with enough beds for the 93. Is my math right? 93. Yep. Oh, we missed it. All right. Robots, you don't have to worry about beds. Let's see here. But you do have to watch how much fuel you're producing. Anyway, we'll have a big moving day, because I need to relocate everyone here over to the actual town. And there's going to be some projects, because we need to blast out the river, basically storing more water. And I need to design and get the river, the back river, or the back canal, however you want to call it. We'll figure it out. Get this around to the outlet, relocate the outlet. We got stuff to do. And also figure out what to do with this space, which I have an idea, but I'm not going to spoil it yet. So, let's see. Did I forget anything? Mentioned Skystorm. Real civil engineer. Been a real big influence. And it's Zeddy. I don't know how to pronounce your... Don't chastise at me. Just a personal note. I've been away for a while. I know I have. And without notice or even updates for y'all to let you know that I had to step away for a bit, but I dusted off this game. It's been real therapeutic during my time away, and it's something that I do want to share with y'all. It's more of a calming game once you get past the survival aspect of it, but I am getting remotivated into putting content on the channel, and I got a lot of great ideas. I just haven't had the mindset of being able to make that content for y'all. So we're gonna get this up and running again. Not full speed ahead, but we're gonna gain some traction and move on forward. And please leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see y'all on the next video so that we can play with our beavers. Thank you for your support, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.